Hello, viewers of Spell, and welcome to part 2 of What If Midoriya Was a Jedi? Now, I do think I'm taking this in a somewhat unique direction. I've only seen this What If done a couple times, and usually just in the first little bit, so I hope you enjoy. And if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment, it does help the channel, and helps me think on what my viewers, think. And without further ado, let's begin this What If. We'd flash forward a few months. All Might, or Toshinori, would start helping to train Midoriya, at least get his physical strength going. But this wouldn't be like in canon with the American Dream Plan. Instead, it would be mostly just strength training, with Midoriya actually spending quite a few days by himself. All Might didn't know what he was doing, but Midoriya was perfecting his force techniques, since Midoriya had already had a start with getting physically fit. All Might was pretty sure Midoriya was the one he wanted to inherit One for All. By the way, please put in the comments if you don't want that to happen. He hadn't told Midoriya about One for All yet. And he actually had a backup person in Mirio. As we'd fast forward to the day of the entrance exams, as Midoriya started walking, being excited, and would nearly trip. Like in canon, Uraraka would save him, with Bakugo just saying, "Get out of my way, nerd." As Midoriya would have... As Bakugo would know Midoriya had a quirk, and Midoriya would have even registered it under energy manipulation. He had not told anyone that his quirk was basically the Force. He had no real way to explain it to people. As they would go inside, with this going like in canon, with Midoriya actually geeking out, even though he was still more controlled in this timeline, with Ida confronting President Mike with the fact that you only have introduced 3 machines, but according to the manual, there's a 4th. And as for you, if you do not take this seriously, I recommend you not attending. As Midoriya, who had been slightly geeking out and taking notes, looked over at him and said, what? As President Mike calming them down and saying, well, that's just an obstacle. No points. As it would begin, Midoriya would think to try to cheer Uraraka up, as Ida would put his hand on Midoriya's shoulder and say, "Are you going to try to distract that girl while she prepares?" Midoriya saying, "No, I was going to go cheer her up. What's up with you?" As Ida would then notice a device Midoriya had on his belt. As Ida would say, "You're not allowed to bring hero support items." As Midoriya said, well, there are actually 2 exceptions. One is for stuff to help you control your quirk if you have difficulty with it. The second items are stuff you construct with your quirk. So in other words, I can use this. As he held the tube-like item, as the gates would open, as like in canon, everyone would stall, even Midoriya, his Jedi training, having no clue on what to do. As it would begin, with Midoriya in the lead this time, igniting his lightsaber. The teachers in the main lounge would start questioning that, as one teacher would say, "I thought we didn't allow students to have hero items." As the principal said, "Well, he put in a submission ahead of time and stated that he constructed it with the help of his quirk, along with him constructing it himself. So I allowed it." As Midoriya would be going through, slicing through bots, and even using the Force to crush and slam them against walls. The teachers would be rather surprised, and even All Might. Midoriya hadn't shown him any of his lightsaber skills, and All Might was rather shocked that he was a really good swordsman. As even when several 3- and 2-pointer robots tried getting after him, he would manage to dodge all the attacks and manage to decapitate all of them. As one robot would try to run, and Midoriya would throw his lightsaber, cutting it in half as he pulled it back. Midoriya started to think, I've lost track, but last I checked I should have 40 or so, as he started to think that most of the other students had cleared out this area. As he focused with the Force, he could sense everyone around him, and that everyone was rushing to the opposite side of the arena, probably because there would be more robots there. As Midoriya would start to go over there, the ground would shake as the 0-pointer would appear. As Midoriya swallowed hard. The 0-pointer was a massive machine, at least as tall as a 10-story building, if not taller. Midoriya started to think that, yeah, no way I can take that thing down. As he was going to just go around it, he would hear a girl cry for help. He would look for where the sound came from. As he would look in front of the 0-point robot, he would see a blonde-haired girl pinned under some rocks. As he ran for it, with him managing to use his telekinesis to lift up the rocks. But it wasn't fast enough, as the brunette-haired girl from earlier, Ochako, would run up and touch the rocks. Midoriya would realize they had become incredibly light and would just throw them off quickly. As Midoriya told Uraraka to take the girl and go, as he realized that the 0-pointer robot was just rushing towards them. As he would look down at his green blade and come up with a plan, he would run in front of the 0-pointer, cutting its shreds clean through with the lightsaber. The 0-pointer would wind up sliding off and crashing into the side of a building with its speed lowered. Midoriya would meet back up with Uraraka to make sure they were okay. As the bell would ring, indicating that this test had ended. As Uraraka would actually introduce herself to Midoriya, as Midoriya would actually ask the name of the girl they had saved, as she would respond, Toga, as that would end the test. Midoriya would go home and be worried for a few weeks at the fact that he hadn't gotten any note and he had no idea how well he did. As he would get a letter from UA, him opening up as a hologram would pop out. Midoriya would think it's similar to the technology on the alien ship he found, as a message from All Might would play. Midoriya, not realizing that All Might would be teaching, was rather surprised. As All Might would explain the hero points that Midoriya earned by helping to save that girl, along with Uraraka, resulting in him getting a score of 89. Midoriya would be happy as he celebrated that night with his mother. As the next day he decided to go to the ship and go deeper into their cargo hold to see what else. As he opened it, as he would notice a large section was missing. As he remembered back to the first holocron he had looked at, as it said there were some dangerous artifacts, and I don't think they're here. As he only saw one package that was labeled Sith. The rest was missing in a large hole that just opened up to the ground. Somewhere else in the city, Toga would be walking into a lair, with someone asking, have you received your acceptance letter yet? Or has the plan gone awry? Toga would smile, saying, I got in. And why do you have to frequently have the lights off? As she reached behind her and pulled out a red blade, illuminating the room. As she said, Master. And that's where we're leaving it. When I said blade, I meant lightsaber. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And yes, the Sith are a thing. And if that doesn't get you on this series, I don't know what will. This will be a Spellry, signing off.